Hello everyone, I'm about to demonstrate a simple project on deep learning in Azure Cloud Platform. We'll be using Jupyter Notebooks on Azure to run the code. This project is about iris classification with deep learning. So let's get started. So we'll open Google and search for Jupyter Notebook Azure and click on the first link that comes up. You can see I already have an account, so I have signed in. If you do not have an account, you will have to sign up. So, and you click on my projects and you press on new project. If you do not have a project, you have to create a project by clicking on that, and you put a name and click on create, and your project is created. So once you have created your project, you click on that and upload your dataset. I have uploaded dataset by clicking on upload, and from computer choose a file from the appropriate file from the computer and click on done. So that way your dataset will be uploaded. And next step is your code. For the code, you will click on plus sign with new, and you click on notebook to choose a kernel. For me, I have chosen Python 2.7, and you click that and you create it. You click on new. So this is the one which I've created already. My code has been run already with the output, so I'm gonna explain to you how and what it is. So the first step is to loading the essential libraries. So once that is done, you go on to the next step, which is data set visualization. So you visualize the data. These are the data, first 5 columns of the data. The next line is visualizing the data dependencies between the input. So these are the dependencies. And in the 7th line, that is the heat map, which we have used to plot the correlation matrix. The 12th, coming down to the 12th line, is Andrews curve, because the petal length and width are highly correlative. So we represent it through Andrews curve. Coming down to the 8th line, we are dropping out the unnecessary columns here, and these are the columns. Coming down to 9th, here comes the deep learning part. So we are importing keras, we are training the model now, and now we have y as target and x as feature vector. Coming to 11th line, here we are dividing the data into test and train. And the next is we create a model and we add layers to it. So since we have mentioned epochs to be 120, it's running 120 times. As you can see this, the layers. So next is we are plotting to see the accuracy. We can say that our model has done well on test dataset, since the accuracy is more than 90. So that shows how well our model is. So that's the conclusion of our project. And in the next section of this video, the same project has been executed in other cloud platforms by my teammates like AWS and GCP. So thank you guys.
Hello. So today, uh, uh, I have to show a project of deep learning on AWS. Like I have just to show how can I run a deep learning project on AWS. So first of all, what you need to do is that you need to upload the data set on S3, Amazon S3. What you have to do is that you just have to go over to the S3 storage, and you have to create a bucket. Like I have already created a bucket, and then inside the bucket you can go over and upload the file, bring your file over from your local file system over here, and you can upload it. So I have uploaded the file here, this iris CSV, and now I copy the path. This is the path. Copy the path, and then you go over to, since I'm running my project on Jupyter instance, Jupyter Notebook. So what you can do is you can go over to Amazon SageMaker, and I've already created a notebook instance. So click over here, and that's my notebook. And while creating a notebook, you have to make sure of one thing, that when you have to when you have to create a new role, you have to mention the name of your S3 bucket over here. Only then it will be able to access the data set that you have uploaded over there. So this is my file. I have to start it. The starting can take a bit of time, like 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll have to wait for that time. But till then, you can do something else, like wait for it. Just stay here or do something else. So okay, what I'm doing in my project is that it's a kind of iris dataset, iris classification with the deep learning. So I'm trying to predict the species of the you have to just predict the species um, using the data that's given to you. And I should have kept this started. Should start by now. Yeah, it's started. You have to click on Open Jupyter, and that's my file over here. I actually created it earlier so that I don't have to create it along with this recording. So here we are. We start with loading the essential libraries for data processing and visualization. This is the essential libraries. Here you can see the data set that I uploaded in my S3 bucket. Now you can you copy the path, you can paste it over here, then you do this pd.read CSV, and here we're doing the visualization stuff. It's just visualizing the data and dependencies between the inputs. And and here it's a heat map. It's a It's representing the correlation matrix, and this is the Andrews curve because the petal length and width are highly correlated. So we're building an Andrews curve over here, and this over here, we are dropping out the unnecessary columns like this axis. One is represents that column, so we're dropping the column, and we do then we process normalization for feature vectors values, and then we're just checking it with showing the first 5 lines. And here comes the deep learning part. We're importing the keras, and kind of now we're training the model now. Now we have y as the target and x as the feature vector. Here we're dividing the data into test and train and creating a model, and we're adding layers after layers, and you can see there, since we have mentioned the epochs to be 120, it's running for 120 times, and then we are plotting to see the accuracy. Clearly you can see that this yellow line represents a accuracy for our test set, and the blue line for our train set. So we can say that our model has done pretty good on our test data set. It's more than 90 the accuracy. So that's it. That's for the project. Thank you.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to describe that how can we use Google Cloud Platform for the deep learning. For this purpose, you should have your account on Google Cloud Platform. You can just use your Google account to sign in, and then you can create your free trial, and then just go to console. Because I have already created a sample project, so I don't need to create any more project. But if you are new, you can use this tab to create a new project. I'm just going to click on my project. First step we have to do, we have to create a VM instance for our machine learning purpose. For this purpose, go to left panel and then go to compute section and then VM instances. You can create new instance using this tab. Because I have already created a new one in my project, so I'm not going to create to save my time. I can just show you what you can use. Region should be US 1, West 1, and this should be same like this, and machine type it's 8 CPUs. And then you can change your boot disk, because we are going to do deep learning. It's a machine learning problem, so we have to use this one, Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. Size 10 GB is fine, you can just select it. After that, just check out these and then check your security and this one, and just click on create, because I have already, so I'm not going to create this one. After that, you have to create firewall rules for this instance. For this purpose, go on left panel and then go on VPC networks, firewalls. You can create new firewall with any name here, like I'm going to use Sook as my name, and then select all instances in the network as target and put same as like this in your source IP ranges, and then I'll provide a TCP port. It can be anything like 1000, 5000, or 8888, or anything else. For here I'm going to use like 5000 because I have already created my firewall rule for that instance, so I'm not going to create a new one. It's just I'm showing to all of you. Next step is to provide a static reason to this one. You created a new firewall rule. For this, you have to change this type. It should be static. If it's not static, then you can just right click here and then provide any name and just reserve it. You can just use this type. You can right click here and then type any name and just create. Then after that, go to your instance and just open its terminal by clicking here. It will take a while to connect. Okay, next we have to install our Jupyter Notebook on other package. For this purpose, we can use this commands, all these commands. Firstly, we have to run this command. Because I have already accessed an account of files, so it's showing like this. Next step, just install TensorFlow and Keras. After that, just check your Jupyter file if you have already. Otherwise you can create by using this command, Jupyter Notebook generate configuration. Because I have already one file here, so Jupyter Notebook here, so it's just overrated. And then you can source your bash RC. After that you just add configure to your Jupyter Notebook with your port number. That like I have 5000 as a my port number. You should like you will have something else, or you can use something else. After doing these steps, just open your notebook by using this command. This should be your port number. From mine, it just have 5000. It shows like this. After that, you just connect to your browser. I have already opened. You can just use this command. HTTP, then colon, // and your external IP address. It's like it's here in your instance. This is your external IP address. You can just copy and paste in like your new home page, and then colon with your port number. Next step is to load your file, like your dataset, to Google Storage. For this purpose, go here. In the storage column, you can use like create one more bucket here, a new bucket here. For this purpose, just create and give any name to this, and just click on create. Because I have already, so I'm not going to create new one. And then just upload your dataset. You can use upload files, or you can drag and drop here. Drag your file and drop here. To access your file to like at our notebook, you can use this command. You have to run this command on your terminal, like here. To exit this thing, you can just press Ctrl C, and then sorry. For mine, its bucket name is this one, and the dataset name is this one, like object name. You can just type these things to access your file in a Jupyter notebook. Then you have to create your notebook. Then you can just run your code on this platform. These are the libraries which I am using for my deep learning coding, and this is my dataset. This is the information of my dataset. These are the pair plots using Seaborn library, and this is a heat map. This is the figure size for my next graph. Here I'm going to import plotting library from pandas. This is like color map in the curves. And then I just draw the ID column to then you have to create a data frame for your dataset. This is df is your data frame. This is like sample of data frame. This is the history of like how validations loss I have already, or accuracy is described for every execution. It's like history graph of this. And this is history graph for the variable accuracy. And I'm getting something error in this. I'm trying to solve this problem to plot accuracy. So main thing is this I described. Then how can we create instance to use our Jupyter notebook on Google Cloud Platform? Thank you.